The Story of Saci Perere. Peter lived with his grandfather in a cottage in Brazil. One day, when Peter was going to play with his marbles, he couldn't find them. So he asked, "Have you seen my marbles, grandfather?" His grandfather replied, "You don't know where they are? To me, that sounds like another Saci's prank." "Saci?" Peter asked. "Who is he?" "You don't know who he is?" Peter's grandfather asked. "Sit here by my side, and I'll tell you a story. A long time ago, when I was about your age, I was walking through the forest with my parents when I saw a squirrel. I decided to follow him, and all of a sudden I got lost. There I was, all by myself in the forest. I was very scared. I was trying to look for my parents when I started to hear laughter. I could feel someone following me and watching me, but I couldn't see anything. I decided to run, but I fell. When I looked down, I saw that my shoelaces were tied together. Who had played that prank on me? I looked up, and there he was, a boy, black as coal, with just one leg, wearing a red bonnet and smoking a pipe. Saci Perere, laughing at the prank he had just played.
"Ha, ha, ha! I tricked you! I tricked you!"
this little boy said to me. I was just amazed. My grandfather had told me about the Saci, a magical being who lived in the woods, always playing pranks on people and protecting the forest. But I never believed him. Yet there he was in front of me. "I'm lost," I told him. "Can you help me get back home?" The Saci agreed to help me in the morning, but in the meanwhile he played all sorts of pranks on me. He pushed me into the bushes, he pulled my pants down, he transformed himself into a lion to scare me. He did a million things to me. But I knew he meant well, and we quickly became friends. During the night, though, when we were sleeping, something happened. 2 men sneaked up on us and took Saci's bonnet. The bonnet is what gives him his power. Without it, he can do nothing. Those 2 men were mean men who had tried before to destroy the forest, to make a fortune out of the wood. But Saci had always prevented it. So now they decided to steal his bonnet and lock him in a cage. Luckily, I managed to escape. The 2 men laughed while Saci sat sadly locked in his cage. They were saying that they would destroy the entire forest and kill all the animals that lived there. Saci started to cry because he was helpless, and I was hiding in a bush, seeing it all. The word spread through the forest that Saci Perere had been captured. Many, many animals decided to go and try to save him. There were rabbits, squirrels, foxes, and even a bear heading to fight the men. But when the animals came, the men just fired their guns at them. Thankfully, the animals were lucky enough to escape with their lives. But I was still there in the bushes. So I sneaked up from behind and grabbed Saci's bonnet. Then I threw it to him in the cage. Oh, you should have seen it. Saci Perere turned into a windmill. He took the 2 men, and they disappeared into the air, never to be seen again. By now, it was already morning, and all the animals were happy, and so was Saci, back to his usual good humor. He gave me a big hug and thanked me for the help. Then, in the blink of an eye, I was back home at my own front door. Saci's magic is powerful magic, and Saci just disappeared. My parents saw me, and I ran towards them, but I fell for the 2nd time. Saci had tricked me once more and had tied my shoelaces together again. But this time I laughed and laughed. I was just so happy to be finally home. So now you know, Peter, said his grandfather. Every time you lose something or something strange happens, that's Saci's work. He's always playing some prank while he's not protecting the forest. But look, aren't your marbles there in the corner? Asked Peter's grandfather. Yes, they are, Peter replied. I'm sure Saci Perere just borrowed them for a while. Peter's grandfather smiled knowingly. I'm sure he did, Peter. I'm sure he did. The end.